Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the October 27th Residents Council meeting. Hopefully many of you had an opportunity to enjoy the numerous musical and culinary events on September 24, 25, which were the grand finale of Cedar Field's 25th anniversary celebration. Thank all of those who participated in the committee that put that together. One additional piece that took place last week was an opening of the new History of Cedar Field Gallery on the fourth floor of the big house, just right upstairs from here. It's a handsome narrative of the history of this place. Heartfelt thanks go to Charlie and Cammie Bryan for their leadership in this project, as well as to their team of residents, which included Kay Wallace, Ann Balfour, Fred Beck, Dick Sessoms, and team member Allison Zach. Kudos go to each of them for their gifts of time and talent, and will go on and go on. Also, we had someone present named Charlotte McCutcheon, who is Cedar Field's very first resident, so it was quite an event. Some of you may have read the updated communications board found on the large bulletin board, which shares various pictures of new residents and newspaper items outside the resident cubby's mailroom. That's right down the hall back here. The document tracks the progress of major projects planned and in various stages. Noted there is the completion of the assisted living's third floor apartments and the dining room, the evolving schedule hours of the Atrium Cafe, and for those of you who didn't know, it's opened up for lunch this week, and the reopening of the pool after completion of its repairs. With regard to our next Residents Council meeting, it will take place not in November, but on December 7th, a Tuesday, at 2 p.m. right here in Fellowship Hall. It's a major change because of the Thanksgiving holiday, and historically, this is exactly what we've been doing. Additionally, the residents' Christmas holiday party given by the residents for the staff members will be held December 9th, also right here in Fellowship Hall, from 2 to 4, or later if necessary. Be watching for more information on that party, as many of you will be playing a big part in it, I think. On another matter, we appreciate the recently completed vaccine clinic, which offered both COVID-19 booster shots and flu shots. We have had the opportunity to be as healthy as possible through the efforts of our management. One last issue is important to mention. As directed in our council bylaws, and I quote, "The president is to appoint a nominating committee consisting of at least 9 members, one of whom is to be a former council president," unquote. That committee will select a slate of officers to be presented and considered for election by all of the residents. In keeping with this process, I have selected this time 4 rather than 3, as has been done several times in the past. And these individuals have now agreed to serve. Each of them have lived in Cedar Field for a number of years, have been actively involved in the life of our community, and the group includes 2 from the apartments and 2 from the cottages. They are past President Carol Markow, Marta Giannoni, Don Branson, and David Long. They will present their proposed slate for the positions of President-elect and Secretary-Treasurer-elect at our January meeting. Before moving on in our normal agenda, I would like to introduce 2 people fairly quickly, both Robbie and Tom, if you all could come forward. Robbie Ravindranath is going to tell us a little bit about the letter that he's about to send out for donations for this Christmas celebration. And Tom will be talking about the activities on the upcoming Alzheimer's Walk. Thank you for both of you. Whoever wants to go first.
Well, you mentioned my name. So, we're going to talk about the Christmas holiday gift, the team member gift. we're ready to go. Next week, the campaign starts, November 1st to December 3rd. All the boxes are going to be out, the boxes. They'll be out at the concierge desk or concierge area, in assisted living, healthcare, Morning Glory, and the business office. I'll be sending a letter out that will be in your mailbox within the next couple of days, which will outline how to give and where to give. There will be, as Eldon mentioned, a party, resident-run party on December 9th, at which time the checks will be given out. Again, to remind you, this program was started 25 years back, and so this is the 25th anniversary by the residents to show their appreciation for the team members. And that has continued for the 25 years with enthusiastic support from our community. And I do know that the team members really appreciate this gift. And it does make a difference in their lives. So I would appreciate everyone being as generous as possible. While strictly voluntary, 100% participation would be great. And Eldon talked about the grand finale of the 25th year. I would love to see the grand finale be everyone being generous. Show our generosity in the grand finale. Thanks.
Well, good day, mates. Last time you saw me in my Aussie hat, we were walking across Australia. We're not going to walk across Australia today, but I want to invite you to walk with us on the Cedarfield Walk to End Alzheimer's on November 5th, 9 a.m. We're going to meet here in the town center. We have 3 different walks that we can do. One, the indoor walk for those who have walkers who are short of time. They can walk indoors from the town center to the 3rd floor Parkview entrance, also known as the card room. We also have a short walk outside to Parkview for those who would like to walk a short walk, and then a longer walk, a mile, where we would be walking down the lane back to Parkview entrance. And at the end, up in the Parkview entrance, we're going to have refreshments, entertainment. All are welcome to do that. And I really urge you to participate however you can. And now for the more serious part. Alzheimer's is a despicable and dreaded disease that just steals your mind and tears apart individuals and families. I know because my mother-in-law died of Alzheimer's. We drove back and forth from Cincinnati once a month for 5 years to see her mother, even though she didn't recognize Becky. It was just heartbreaking. So I invite you to join me and Becky in supporting the Walk to End Alzheimer's. You know those fancy purple pens that showed up in your mailbox on October 18th? Well, I want you to get out your checkbook, take those pens and stroke a generous check. It should be made out directly to the Alzheimer's Association and put in the box located in the Town Hall Center. Sorry we can't accept cash though. With the dollars raised, the Alzheimer's Association can continue to provide care and support to families during these difficult times, while also advancing critical research towards methods of treatment and prevention. They are making incredible progress, finally. Our goal is to collect $20,000 for the Alzheimer's Association. We only have pledged $4,600 so far, which is about 25% of our goal. Start your day out by doing something good for others. Alzheimer's is a terrible and devastating disease that can be helped by your donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Before we move on, one needs to always follow the agenda when it's done. And before we go too much further, I apologize again, but we need to have in location. So, if you could come forward, Charlotte.
Let us pray, please. Our loving God, remind us what a difference it makes when we make time in our day for you. And as we do that, help us to be enlightened in our minds with truth, to be embraced with love, to be inspired with courage, and to be enriched with service. Pardon what we have been and order what we will be. We ask these things in His name. Amen.
Thank you again. Next, we are back on the agenda now, and we are privileged to have with us today our Executive Director, Michael Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Rucker. Good afternoon, everyone. First, just want to let everyone know our dashboard is green at Cedar Field for residents and team members, which is great news. Our booster clinic went very well last week. Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation. As a point of note for team members and for the betterment of everyone, next Monday, November 1st, is a cutoff for all team members to have their booster shot and their flu shot. As part of our policy has been the flu shot is a conditional employment as well. And so we are tracking team members this week to make sure that all 287 of us have both of those shots, the booster shot of the Pfizer and the flu shot. For those team members that have received the Moderna, or residents that received the Moderna, hopefully received that call from Ann Hopper last night. We do have a Moderna clinic coming here shortly. The last resident council that we were here in September, Area 2 talked about golf carts. Just want those residents in Area 2 to know that we're looking at golf carts for the landscape team and the housekeeping team. So that project is underway. In Area 6, it was noted about dropped calls at Cedar Field. We still are working with Verizon, very interesting organization to get to the right people, but we believe we found the right person at Verizon to come and visit, and that person is working with our IT professional to schedule that visit the middle part of November. The leaky tunnel, art gallery, and the main building, we have an architectural plan ready to go. And we are trying to court two particular subcontractors that will excavate some of the grounds out here to alleviate that leak. And then Area 6 also talked about speeding around A, B, C, and D wing. Good news is we had a officer in camouflage 2 weeks ago out there, and they caught 0 people speeding. Team members, residents, and contractors. So in that 1 3.5 hour period of time between 7:30 and 10 o'clock, I believe it was. So good news, just a little snapshot trying to see what we can do with a speeding gun. In Area 16, we talked about new carpeting on the 4th floor. We met as a group with Shaw Carpeting, no relation, who's our purveyor, manufacturer, and the installer, DMA. A little bit of a hiccup in the supply chain within manufacturing carpeting. We are targeting a January install date for carpeting on the 3rd and the 4th floor of the main building. And then Area 19 talked about the fence from the gatehouse down to the tennis courts. And we are retrieving a quote from a fencing company to replace that fence. So that's some historical information. Mr. Rucker talked a little bit about the History Center. I just want to again thank Charlie and Cammie for leading that resident-centered action team. That was just really great to see that grassroots initiative. If you have not gone up on the 4th floor to experience our history exhibit, I would encourage you to do so. The Cedar Chest, we are grateful for years and years and years of service of Lou Jackson and the residents who worked alongside of her to manage the Cedar Chest. The Cedar Chest has donated thousands of dollars over the years towards the Samaritan program. They have officially retired, and we're looking for volunteers on the sales end. We think we have a pretty good team of residents on the back end to sort and collect and price. And now we're looking for residents who are interested in on the front end of the hospitality end of selling in the Cedar Chest. So anyone has any questions, please see Alice and Zach. Some operational updates, marketing and sales. People are interested in the statistics. Independent living is 93% occupied. Assisted living is 90%. Memory support is 90%, and healthcare is 85%, and that's a daily average over the last month. Health services, we had a mock survey last week. An independent consultant came out, Mary Childs. It was a great mock survey. We are using this mock survey to gear up for Medicare Part A inpatient neighborhood that I've been talking about for quite some time. And using the lessons from this mock survey to comply with the federal regulations. And so it was a good survey, it was a great teaching survey for the team. And so looking forward to that. Healthcare, speaking of healthcare residents, there's about 16 residents that currently live on the 4th floor that are moving to the 5th floor of the household building in a couple of weeks. So we're very excited that we will have our first long-term care neighborhood in the building that was designed for that. So that will be happening in the next couple of weeks. Mr. Rucker and Mike Greenwood asked Matt Dameron and I to come up with a rebranding action team. There's a lot of interesting opinions and perceptions about healthcare, about assisted living, about memory support. Good, bad, or indifferent. And so Matt and the team have initiated, they've commissioned what we call a rebranding action team to talk about what services, the stories behind the delivery of services in our healthcare area so that we can all rally around the east side of our property and what many people use, why people have a life care contract, is they want to know that good care is going to be there when they need it, if they need it. And so I think we need to take a step back. Mike and Eldon and I agree that we need to take a step back and help people with what is actually happening and be able to promote it in a different light. They've started to do post-stay surveys in healthcare. So any resident that lives in independent living that goes into healthcare temporarily and then moves back into independent living, we are now doing surveys of those residents, and we're going to share the data at these council meetings so people can see what how residents are rating the service. And then last thing about healthcare, I've been talking about Align Senior Care. It's a managed Medicare managed care product. We have begun a partnership with them and look forward to helping residents with a different type of insurance product that can really be a little bit more proactive than reactive. I've been talking a lot about the term navigation. I did say it was going to be in your informer, and it was my fault, it did not get into the informer, so you're going to see a memo from me probably Monday of next week that outlines, not in concert with the live chats that we have every Wednesday. In November and December, I'm going to avail everybody navigation chats. So if you want to learn about the wellness clinic, Helping Hands, home health, outpatient therapy, home care, and or this new Medicare Part A stay. We have 6 navigation chats scheduled throughout these next couple of months. We're going to take the better part of 60 minutes to explain each of these, because I believe it's one of the strengths of Cedarfield, and I want every resident to feel confident that it is as well. And so look forward to this memo coming out on Monday. Place these dates and times on your calendar if you have time, and talk a little bit about those particular 6 topics. Just a couple other things for me. Philanthropy-wise, thank you to all the residents that are on the Scholarship Committee Action Team. Right now, we are collecting, again, applications from team members to benefit from scholarships that you all have donated to. So we're actively looking for those team members in concert with our strategic plan. The deadline is Friday for team members to submit an application, so very excited about that. And I'm just really excited about Mrs. Ellett. Those of you may have gone to her memorial service yesterday. We are a very fortunate organization to be a recipient of her estate, as you had heard yesterday, along with all those other entities that she had very proud to be partners with. And so the Samaritan Fund was a recipient of some of her estate. And just want to thank her and her family again for making that possible. Mrs. Ellett, how many people here knew Mrs. Ellett? Okay, we had 6 people here. Very, very genuine, very friendly, very positive person. There's a great influence in Cedarfield. We miss her deeply, and we will put her estate gift to good use over time. Human resources. If you haven't heard, the media is now calling it the Great Resignation. It's not even the workforce pandemic. And so we have a lot of, I know as a community, we have a lot of interest in what are we doing to attract the right people? How are we doing it? And just a couple of notes around human resources. We have new software now called Keltare. It's just great, modern, contemporary software to track applicants from the time that they submit an application all the way through their first day. And so we have done some significant training over the last couple of weeks, and we have that software now available to us. For those of you that have smartphones, the people can actually now apply for positions through their smartphone with 9 simple questions. And they get pulled into this software. So we have an IDP process, so an individual development program for people to help them learn and grow. There are 82 people that have an IDP, so that we can take their IDP and help them become anything they want to be inside of their department or neighborhood, and or shift them to other spots that they are aspiring to. So I think that's a huge retention tool that we have. We have something called the PEAK program. Just as a show of hands here, how many people have heard of the PEAK program? 3. So we have to do some education around PEAK program. If anyone sees a team member delivering exceptional service, there is a nomination process called the PEAK program that you can nominate a team member for any one of our 6 values that we live day in and day out here at Cedarfield around hospitality, quality, stewardship, partnership. And that nomination goes before a committee of people, and they vote on those nominations for different types of awards that a team member can get. It's a great retention tool, and then that team member gets public recognition in the fellowship hall here. So I would encourage you all, maybe on Monday I'll put a nomination form in everyone's cubby box and mailbox so that you can take advantage of that program with us. We have really started to work with the high schools in the area, even the middle schools. Pocahontas Middle School principal was here for lunch today, and we talked about a variety of ways to partner. and start even the next generation to learn about senior living. But we are really actively in 4 of the high schools in the surrounding area, particularly trying to partner with them for servers. And so that is an untapped resource that we really have not taken advantage of over the years, but we are on a path now. And then one other thing about human resources of note, that we do have a diversity, inclusion, and equity action team that is alive and well. And at the next live chat, I'm going to be sharing what our goals are as an organization, Pinnacle Living and Cedarfield, to help that action team grow, which will help with retention and improvement. Some great news in the maintenance department. I don't know if you all know this, but maintenance is responsible for security. Do you all know Officer Crawford? No? Okay, so one person, thank you, Mike. 2 people, do I see 3? Officer Crawford's been here a long time, and she has just been promoted to the supervisor. I know, we've asked her a couple times in the past, and due to a variety of other reasons, but this time she has said yes. And so if you see her at the gatehouse, give her a salute and congratulate her. I know I look forward to partnering with her in that new capacity. And it's about 20 minutes since I've been on here, sir. I can go on a little bit further. One last request. Next week is voting day. And so I'm asking that any resident that generally parks out front, if you could please park your car on the east side of the property the night before Election Day. We're going to use this as an entire front parking lot as a valet service to help voters get in here and out very quickly in a socially distant manner. So I hope we all can just rally around that the day and make it as smooth as possible for everybody. And that is all I have, sir. Unless you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
How long are we going to have to wear the mask? And when can we invite people to come in for dinner from outside?
There is one question here in Fellowship Hall. How long do we have to wear masks? And when can we invite people in from the outside to dinner or for lunch? We have a meeting scheduled with the Virginia Department of Health next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, to ask them about mask wearing and see if it's, since we all now have, or a healthy percent of us have our booster shot, is it really required indoors? So that to come next week. And then secondly, when can we have visitors for dinner at Cedarfield? We are waiting on probably 3 or 4 more servers to complement the team up in the main dining room so that we can adequately serve people. And so I don't have a timeline yet there, but the applicant flow is stronger today than it was a couple of weeks ago. And so the team are vetting those applications. As soon as we get about 4 or 5 more servers, full-time servers out there, they'll be back to normal staffing patterns, and we can go back to visitors on campus. Thank you, sir.
Is that it? Thank you, Michael, very much. We're ready now to move into the committee reports. First is communications. Rose Studer is here.
The communications committee met October 11th and heard from Eldon Rucker that he and Tom Maxwell had been asked to serve on the committee overseeing new signs for both the interior and exterior of the main building. While the committee had expressed that it wanted to be involved, it was satisfied that residents would be well represented. After extensive discussion by members about the difficulty of locating apartments, Dolly Hines moved a suggestion that the letter of the wing be added before the number of each apartment. That was unanimously voted. And Florence Book had asked that the committee critique the current pictorial directory, pointing out that a major advantage of keeping the production in-house would be the ability to update the directory as residents moved in. The committee agreed that those updates are important and focus on ways to improve the current first-time effort. Committee members pointed out that some of the current photos are of very poor quality and some are cropped very badly. While they commended the larger typeface, some felt that there was much wasted space. Also, the pictures, to their thinking, are too small, and separating a husband and wife's listing is awkward. On the topic of being sensitive to those with low vision, I reported that I attended a support group meeting of the low vision group, and members of that group were very vocal in explaining that most of the printed materials at Cedarfield are useless to them. The word overwhelming was used by several. They commended the large print version of the Cedar Digest. They asked for larger typefaces, fewer words, higher contrast between type and background, more frequent but shorter memos, and dissemination of information about availability of aids, such as electronic readers, high-power magnifiers, and special apps. Among other suggestions, edges of stairs be marked, information update on the telephone be provided, and version of the menu that is decipherable to them be provided. Then Hessler added that she can receive information delivered electronically, but not information sent via print. The meeting adjourned at 12:20. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bro. Dining services, I don't think Dean is here, we had no report. Environmental services, there's no report. Facilities, they'll be meeting in next month, so there's no report tonight. Finance, Carol's here, but there's no report. The flower, whoever that person, oh, she's not here. Louisa Rucker. Gardening, is there a report? I haven't seen whether Sally or, no report. Okay, health services, Elvira, I understand you have a report.
I'm here with Show and Tell today. We met on October 9th, and the major discussion related to what residents need to take to health care for personal needs and not have a charge attached to them. So these are things that you can do ahead of time, put in your closet, and take with you and save in the neighborhood of $65. They can be put together and kept in a closet until needed. The items include, and I'll show you, and then it's my understanding that healthcare is going to be sending out a memo. Personal items such as but not limited to toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, eye drops, deodorant, that sort of thing. Non-latex gloves, Kleenex, items such as Depends if needed, and a pitcher and water glass. For example, this is my box of stuff, and I put it in a bag so that it couldn't get lost in the closet. Kleenex, personal items, gloves, and these happen to have been bought at CVS, non-latex. And a water pitcher, and you could have a glass with it, but I have a straw. Most people get these at the hospital, they take them home, they have it to use. Further discussion included how residents who are able, that's the caveat, and are in healthcare for a short time may take their own meds from home. They will be tested to see if that's possible. Now, that's still under discussion, and a memo will be coming from that. And the process will become developing at the next meeting. Any questions about that? Okay. The other piece that came from the Health Services Committee minutes from July 14th, Michael, has there been any update on what is available for residents in independent living in cottages who need electricity during an electrical blackout? And there's a list of recommendations.
I don't have a time.
Okay, would you like another copy of what they are?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvira. Library, Dolly is with us, but no report. Religious life, Charlotte, no report. Safety, Buzz here, you have a report?
Not actually a report so much as some comments. Our last meeting was in September, and our next meeting happens to be at 11 o'clock, the date of the next residence council. Couple of things, remarks. Speeding is better on the lane with the speed bumps, but still a very big problem on the parkway. The stop signs at the head of the parkway or at the circle are not optional. You're supposed to stop at the stop sign. And when I come up to pick a meal up at 5 o'clock, there is a string of people coming from the healthcare side who don't stop at either stop sign. They just roll through them. Daylight savings times come next Sunday, which means it will get darker earlier. It's a time to check your batteries, especially because we know we can have a power failure. You should have flashlights. You will need a flashlight to leave the building in cases of emergency because of the poor emergency lighting, especially in the stairwells. The cottages were issued these, which are plug-in lights, which when you turn them on are a flashlight, and when you plug them into the wall, they turn off and are ready to go whenever you have a power failure. The main building, A, B, and C wing have an emergency light over the doorway. D wing has no lighting at all in emergency. And we spoke with Jack about getting some of these for the residents of D wings. And then my perennial comment is it's getting darker earlier. We are not particularly, we're not as young as we used to be. Vision is poor, reflexes are poor. You need to watch for walkers. The walkers, on the other hand, need to remember their elementary school training. You walk facing the traffic, and if you're walking at dawn or dusk, you need to have something light on, not black pants and black coat. You need to have something reflective, flashlight or something like that, because that would be very, very important and increase your visibility and decrease the likelihood that you will get hit. Those are comments.
Thank you very much, Betty.
Al,
Yes.
just one comment. The people blowing through the stop signs at the D wing are numerous.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, the next next group is welcoming. We have Nellie and Ann both here. You have one of you as a report. Thank you.
The Welcome Committee has recently welcomed Frank and Grace Ann Miller, Jenny Hendren, and Mitzi Kirkendall to Cedarfield. In fact, we had a dinner just last night for that group, which was well received. This Saturday night, we'll have a dinner for 10 ladies who have recently lost their spouses. This was an idea of Nellie's, and I think it is a wonderful idea, and we've had good response to that. Looking forward, we're anticipating meeting, at this point, the 10 residents, new residents, who will be moving here in December, and you'll meet them soon, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice to hear. Next, wellness. We're really pleased to have Barbara Rose with us here. I think there's no report yet, but just wait for the future. There'll be opportunities. Background. Charlotte, did you give a report?
Our membership met on October the 15th. We had 19 members present at that time. Our leadership has changed since Jim Trometer announced his decision to step down as chair of that group. We determined for the immediate future, we will divide leadership into 4 parts, with each person assuming a specific role. For now, Barbara Fiske, Martha Cole Glenn, Sally Wood, and I will take on those responsibilities. We continued the efforts to have resident representation on the Pinnacle Board, to participate in decisions affecting us and our lives here at Cedarfield. In regard to that goal, each resident will be receiving a letter addressing that issue, along with an application to join VACRA. You can expect to receive that information by the end of next week. Our local membership in VACRA has nearly tripled since last month. We are encouraging everyone to join, to lend your support to the efforts of our local membership, the state and the national organization, whose mission is to promote, to protect, to empower, and better the lives of residents of CCRCs in the Commonwealth. By the way, if anybody wants a membership form, I have some. Be sure to ask for it before you leave. Be in touch with any of the 4 of us or any VACRA member you happen to know. They'll be glad to answer your questions. Anything about the local or the national organization or the state organization.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. In the area of representatives, Area 1, Marty's not here, but she has a report to be given by Mike.
Mr. Shaw, I'm just reading this report. Area 1, area reps have been asked to report concerns during the reports to residents council meetings, but we are wondering for what purpose. Issues are constantly being brought up, and many times the same issues that have been brought up have also been brought up by other areas at other meetings, indicating that issues remain ongoing with no resolution. We believe that issues brought up should be specifically listed under the old business at the next meeting. The president of the Residents Council should then give a report of any discussions that have taken place with Cedarfield management, and what, if any, corrective action will be taken, or report on the status of corrective action to be taken. If issues are not discussed with Cedarfield management, we should at a minimum be given a reason why. I have a cell phone with an area code of 703 from Northern Virginia. Many of us from other area codes do not want to change our cell phone number. However, those at Cedarfield who have a 474 landline are charged a long-distance fee to dial outside of the immediate area. At a time when many are doing away with landlines, when are you going to change this archaic situation or upgrade the phone system at Cedarfield so long-distance calls are included in the basic fee? Those of us who live in the cottage receive a monthly bill which is mailed to us. A waste of postage paper use. We understand from the business office 6 months ago that we would be offered email notice. When is this going to take place? Respectfully submitted, Marty Rittenhouse, Area 1 Rep.
Thank you very much for that good news. Oh, question.
Mr. Shaw would make a comment relative to long-distance charges and other charges starting next month.
Next meeting? Okay.
It's in the bill. The memo.
Yeah. To come back to answers on all of this is what you're asking, yeah. Okay. Area 2, Andy Cowers is here, no report. Sally Bailey is out of town. Nancy Hoffheimer's not here. We have Sally Ayers from Area 5. Wonderful place to live.
And I'll just make it short and sweet. Things are well down at our end of the lane, and we're going to have a soup night at the clubhouse tonight. And so this is the second time that we've done that, and it was well received the last time. Several people make crock pots of soup, and people bring all kinds of other goodies, and it's a beautiful day for it. So that's an idea for your areas if you're looking for something to do. The clubhouse is a wonderful place to meet. Thank you.
Thank you. Area 6, do we have a report? Yes. From Kipton.
Pat Alders and I met with Sharon Brown, the Director of Housekeeping. Russell Johnson met with David Stewart, the Director of Dining Services. Pat and I reduced the details of our meeting with Ms. Brown in a letter of understanding. The details concerned the cleanliness and upkeep of the porch at entrance at Sea Wing, and the carpet in the hall and the trash room floor. Mr. Stewart's written plan for the Atrium Cafe, the use of the trash truck in Sea Wing, the trash closet resulted from Russell's meeting with Mr. Stewart. While Mr. Stewart's plan does not seem feasible for the long run, in Area 6 will give it a chance. The atrium generates too much trash and can't reasonably share the trash truck with Sea Wing residents. The atrium trash has caused filth to build up on the floor and has caused overflowing bags of trash and results in limited to no room for Area 6 residential use of the trash truck. We're monitoring the porch entrance at Sea Wing. Sally Wood is monitoring the trash closet and truck. In general, the terms of the letter of understanding has been upheld. With the atrium opening though, both for lunch and dinner, strict standards will have to be enforced. The two ladies working in the atrium thus far has been good about the disposal of the trash, and we thank them very much.
Thank you for your report. And, not this time, okay. Area 8, is there any report? Area 9, Mr. Myers here, but not a report. Area 10. Ken Moore? No report. Is Don Branson here? He had indicated he might be here, no? Area 12. Area 13. Can't see it, no report. Area 14, I think no one's here. Area 15, Mike Greenwood.
I'm happy to announce that Area 15, Ted and Kathy McCormick have agreed to be the ambassadors going forward this year and into next year. In June, Tate has agreed to be the area representative, so looking forward to that.
Good job. Area 16, no report. Okay. Area 17, no report. Area 18, I know she's not here. Area 19, I think they're not here. Area 20, Cynthia, no report. And Area 21, there's no report. Do we have any old business that people would like to bring up? Obviously, we have to talk about.
Area 16 mentioned maintenance concrete barriers in the report last month. What is that?
I don't know, we'll have to look it up. Oh, yes, the concrete barriers, I think the ones they're talking about, those ones that they're, if you come up to the front, going in the front area, typically they had put steel rods down in there, they had been moved. And I think that the JAG had somebody actually put those in an angle and make sure they're into the asphalt so they don't get moved when a car hits it. I think, my understanding, that was just resolved.
The curb blocks.
The curb, yeah. The parking. All right. Anything else? Any new business? Yes.
It's not easy to get my hair to look like that. But many of us are concerned about the situation in beauty and barbershop. Michael already has read my personal letter to him about the situation. My good buddy Sonny, compassionate Sonny, cares a lot, started a petition, and we will present that to Michael. We feel that the middleman that's being assigned into the Cedar Field will hurt our present people, and we would like some more information and more consideration for the 3 good people who work here. Thank you.
Any further comments? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.